You ever walk into a building and feel it swallow, sound like the walls are holding their breath? That was Aurora Spire, 49 stories of glass over Rainford Bay, where footsteps learn real quick if they belong. I belong to After Hours, mop bucket keyring that sings when you walk, and the kind of smile you keep small so nobody thinks you're getting ideas. Name's Nia Thompson. I clean offices that cost more per month than my whole block. I'm a mom to a 7-year-old comet named Luna, and I'm the last person anyone thought would touch the heartbeat of that tower. Funny thing, sometimes all it takes is a small paper napkin with a still warm cookie inside. The name everybody whispered was Dominic Vale, founder of Vale Dynamics' richest man, in 3 zip codes, eyes like they forgot what summer felt like. Day shift talked about him like weather. Dangerous if you're caught unprepared. Night shift didn't talk at all. We moved like shadows, fast and quiet, you know what I mean? Tuesdays I brought Luna because my sitter took a night class. She's the kid who waves at security cameras and thinks butter sugar and patience can fix feelings. Grandma Etta taught her our cookie recipe, the one that tastes like church potlucks and payday Fridays. That night, Luna slid one into her pocket like a secret. Floors 12 through 20 were routine. Wipe, rinse, repeat. Then Luna tugged my sleeve on 21 and whispered, "Mom, it feels sad up here." I laughed. Then I felt it too, that heaviness people drag to work and leave in the carpet. Big windows, empty rooms. I told her folks, forget to say hello. She nodded like she was saving it for later. By 10:40, we rode to the executive sky lobby where the carpet eats sound and the art looks like someone framed a thunderstorm. The rule is simple. If the corner office light is on, you skip the floor and come back later. That light was almost never on, until it was. I hit the elevator button to head down. Luna didn't move. She stared down the hall like the moon was calling her, then took off. Red sneakers, soft on money carpet beads, and her braids clicking like tiny bells. Luna. I hissed back here now. She turned the corner into the glow. And there he was. Dominic Vale, sleeves rolled, tie loosened like it had begged for mercy. He stepped into the doorway, the way storms step out from behind clouds. I braced for a sentence that starts with unacceptable and ends with terminated. Luna spoke first. "Hi," she said, like we weren't standing on thin ice. "Are you working late again?" "Again," he said back like the word tasted strange. I rushed up, apology loaded. "Mr. Vale, I'm sorry, we were just leaving." Luna pulled a folded napkin from her pocket. "You look tired. This makes heavy days lighter." He looked at the napkin like it might be a trick. "A cookie," he said. "Yes, sir," I said. Because what else does a mom say to a billionaire in a hallway? My grandma says, "Food made with love changes the room it's in." The corner of his mouth twitched. Not a smile, more like a muscle remembering how. He took the cookie, broke, it tasted it, and stood very still. If you've ever watched late winter ice crack under the first real warm sun, you know the sound. You don't hear, but you feel. That. He didn't thank us, didn't yell either. We headed to the elevator because my whole body knew to go. Luna whispered he needed it. I didn't disagree. Next night, a memo rippled down from security to HR to a schedule note that somehow found me. Mr. Vale wanted the night team's names for recognition. Night crews don't get recognized. We get replaced. So when the receptionist on 47 said, "Good evening, Ms. Thompson," I almost looked behind me to see who she meant. 10 minutes later, the corner office door opened. "Ms. Thompson." Dominic said, like he'd practiced holding 2 mugs, "Does your daughter drink hot chocolate?" And do you? She does, I said, and I do when the day's been long. He nodded. Today qualifies. 5 minutes. Then I'll pretend I never fraternized. Joke, not threat. That was new. No fairy dust. Just Luna cross-legged on a rug that cost more than my car, telling him how sprinkles taste better when you earn them, and me watching a man tune to a frequency he hadn't used in years. He asked her a question and actually waited for the answer. Do you know how rare that is with men who can buy tomorrow's weather? Yeah. He asked me one thing. How long have you worked nights? 3 years, I said before that. 2 jobs day and night, and an apartment that smelled like someone else's choices. He nodded, something complicated in his eyes. Then his phone screamed, the kind of emergency that has a siren built in. He stood. Thank you for the cookie. The word thank sounded rusty. By Friday, the building buzzed like a hive that had been pawed by a bear. Big deal, leaked cameras gathered board members arriving like a storm cell. Security tightened, and that's when folks like me get looked at sideways. Clive Rourke, bored bulldog with a jaw like a brick, cornered me by the elevators. Ms. Thompson, he said, not a question. You and your child frequent the executive level. We clean it, I said, hands visible, voice steady. He held a file like a weapon. Leaks don't happen by accident. Doors open for a reason. I open doors with keys, I said, that's the job. He stepped in too close. People who don't belong up here forget what's at stake. Don't forget. I smiled small. Sir, I forget a lot, but never who signs the check. He didn't like that. We'll be reviewing footage. He walked off, and I set my mop back gently so I wouldn't snap the handle in half. An hour later, the office door opened, and Dominic leaned on the frame like his bones had complaints. I heard about Rourke. He said he barks at shadows. He won't bark at you again. He's doing the math he knows I said. He studied me. And you? What math do you know? How to stretch $8 of chicken till Thursday. How to catch 2 buses and still make bedtime. How to keep my mouth from writing checks my life can't cash. He nodded. I don't like the math I've been doing, he said. It's precise, joyless. Somehow always ends at 0. I didn't say that joy costs time, and you can't buy that in bulk. Saturday morning, the headlines turned mean layoff rumors, op-eds calling him unstable, cameras crowding the plaza. I cooked eggs for Luna and Etta, then the room tilted, not tired, tilted, breaker flipped, tilted. Next thing I knew, I was staring at a white ceiling, and Luna counting my breaths, brave voice shaking. Rainford General said, mini stroke. We caught it in time. Drink water, slow down, breathe. They told me later Dominic showed up wearing the same suit and a look that said, try me, no flowers, just hospital forms and a credit card laid down like a crowbar. No bills go to this family, he told the nurse. When I woke, Etta was praying. Luna drew me with a crown, and the richest man in the room sat in a plastic chair trying to find somewhere to put his hands. I tried to sit. Don't, he said, voice softer than steel, for the first time you scared your daughter and a very competent guardian angel. Etta grinned. He means me. I'll take it. Clive stormed the hallway with words like liability and optics. Dominic met him outside my door. We need a head, Clive snapped. A leak is a leak. We need a mirror, Dominic said. Calm culture leaks before numbers. Are you leading a company or quoting posters? Clive sneered. Leadership without humanity is vandalism, Dominic answered, and even the fluorescent lights paused. In the meantime, I'm expanding health coverage, emergency leave, childcare stipends. Monday. Have you lost your mind? No, he said. I'm trying to find it. Emails hit Monday. Coverage leave childcare. The cafeteria felt different, like somebody put a pinch of salt back in a soup that went flat. People walked taller, some cried in stairwells. Yeah, that happened. Dominic came to the hospital with a brown bag. I tried baking, he said, shy like a teenager. Disaster until it wasn't. Etta took a cookie, inspected it like jewelry bit, then smiled. You added the molasses at the right time. He blinked. There's a right time always, she said, with cookies and with people. By week's end, they found the leak. Not a cleaner, not an intern. A board member's nephew trading what he overheard in a kitchen no one thought to watch. Reporters wanted blood. Dominic gave an apology. We built a culture that rewarded fear and punished honesty. He said, that's on me. We're going to build something else. Stock dipped, then didn't. Workers exhaled. A Tuesday later, I was back at Aurora Spire, doctor's orders on my fridge and in my head. Less stress, more water breathe. On 47, the corner office looked different. Not weaker, warmer. Polaroid of Luna and Etta by the glass cookie jar with a silly lid. Sticky note, stars in marker. He set a small velvet box on the desk. My heart did a flip, then another. Before you say anything, he said, I need to say everything. I thought winning meant not needing anybody. I built walls and called it leadership. Your daughter handed me a cookie, and the walls went hollow. I don't want to be a man who needs a crisis to be kind. I want to carry groceries and bedtime and bad days without making you pay for them. Marry me. The ring caught the light like a quiet promise. I took a breath that tasted like clean air. Dominic. I said I'm not a project or a press release. I'm a mother with a body that just reminded me I'm not indestructible. I don't want a rescue. I want a partner. I don't say yes on a mountaintop I haven't hiked. He nodded, patient. Then let's walk. Clive barged in later, barking about lawsuits and counterattacks. This isn't Sunday school, he said. Exactly. Dominic answered, cool, not cold. It's Monday through Friday. People have lives here. You're losing your edge. Maybe I'm losing a knife I shouldn't have been swinging. The benefits stuck. Productivity rose. People said good morning and meant it. I took a promotion that wasn't charity, director of facilities, hired 2 more for nights' fixed schedules so nobody had to sprint to a second job and call it survival. Luna does homework in the little reading corner by the window, now tapes drawings to a mini fridge we rolled in because any room can be a kitchen if you add the right heat. And the question that won't quit sits in the middle of all this. When the state came sniffing for insider trading, the board wanted throats, social media wanted a hero, the city wanted a villain. Dominic pushed probation ethics training clawbacks on bonuses tied to the leaked deal. Fair, he said. Weak, Clive said. Workers said adult. What do you say? Should he have thrown people down the stairs to prove a point? Or tried a different kind of accountability and risk being called soft? Does a billionaire get to change without paying for who he was? And who keeps that ledger anyway? You tell me. If you've ever been invisible until you weren't, if your uniform made someone misprice your worth, if you've stood between right and rent, talk to me in the comments. What does real fairness look like where you live? Who was right in that hallway? What would you have done in that boardroom? And if you've got a recipe that heals a bad week, drop that too. Like, subscribe, share this with someone who thinks kindness can't scale. Then let's argue a little and maybe cook something while we do.